With BI and big data, often the destination, the goal is the same, which is to have summarized results of much more detailed data so that we can get to real insights and find the real trends, basically extract the information from the data itself. The big difference is in the case of BI, the source data that we're using is at the granular level of a transaction. So in an e-commerce situation, you could take the word transaction very literally. We're talking about, let's say, a purchase. In the case of some other type of business, maybe it's a medical scenario and we're looking at specific events in that domain, which could be the contraction of a disease, something along those lines. But in the case of big data, we're looking at all the twists and turns that led up to that transaction, that led up to that event. In the case of e-commerce, we'd be looking at all the clickstream data. We'd be looking at all the decisions and all the products that the buyer looked at before making a purchasing decision. And that is a very different kind of source data, so we get a lot more nuance. What also happens is that the structure of the data can be a lot looser in the big data case. We don't have to be taking data that's neatly in rows and columns. It's almost the difference between having source data written on index cards where each line is clearly labeled the same way from card to card in the BI case versus taking data from notes and conversation and lots of things that are much less structured in the case of BI.